What's going on, you guys? My name is Rayge, and we are back today with an update video here in regards to the new Spider Society team that's coming to the game as the next skill raid, especially if you guys are working on an incursion, building up gear tier 19 and crimson gear. This is going to be an absolute must-have team. Now, in today's video, I will not be going through all the kit reviews and all that details, just because many of the other content creators already covered that, so please check them out. For this video, I'm going to be more so focused on how their stats now do stack up against the other raid teams that we're seeing, and whether or not this is a team that we should be paying close attention to. But more specifically though, we do know now what Ghost Spider and Spider-Man Noir's reworks are in terms of their stats, how they're going to rank out with the other teams, and any kind of additional information and insight we can gather from this. So the other three confirmed characters, in case you guys have missed this key information from the other content and news, obviously this has not been publicly announced yet on the blog post, but the three members are inclusive of Peter B. Parker, which also includes his daughter, super cute. We got Penny Parker, and as well as Pav, being known as the India Spider-Man. So guys, why should we care about this team? You know, the key highlights, as I noted earlier, this is the next skill raid team, especially if you want to push higher and higher in these incursion raids, especially if your alliance is competitive and you're trying to get in those top rankings for more crimson gear. This is how you're gonna be able to do that, right? Invaders was typically the go-to team for that nasty skill section at the very end of incursion raids. Personally, our alliance just completely skipped it because it's not typically an area we focused on. This is going to be a team that finally replaces that god-awful Invaders team that we put, some folks have put significant investment into them, and they just can't even really get the job done unless you use multiple revives and different character combinations. Just awful. They just were not built to be future-proof in terms of new raids, and they already saw diminishing returns even in the original Incursion 1. So I'm really pleased that this is finally getting replaced, and this is a good team that's going to be replacing that team. This is the first dual synergy trait team in game that's ever come to Marvel Strike Force, so it's a pretty big deal. It goes without saying then that they had to put some careful attention to this and details, because is this going to be kind of setting the bar here for how future teams are going to be coming about? Is this going to be the future in terms of how we plan? Because when the risk here is that when you create a dual synergy trait team, it does make it easier a lot for the community and the player base to participate in multiple events and challenges where some of these characters are included in both those traits. Especially, I'm thinking more specifically when you're going through the daily challenges, and even when you're going through actually the legendary scourges and trials. This is for sure going to be opening a huge revolving door here. So that, I'm sure they're thinking of that when they were planning this behind the scenes. Having said that, all these characters, the five I mentioned, are a mix of skill, but obviously there's going to be bio, mystic, tech, depending on which character combination that you're taking a look at. So very important to be mindful of that. I'm curious though how this is going to get factored into the investment of characters such as Spider-Gwen and as well as Spider-Man Noir. If you've already brought them up, is it just going to be impacted, I guess, maybe from the next gear tier level? Who knows? So that way it doesn't really impact folks that previously already invested in these characters. So just something to be mindful of there. But also, with the announcement of this team, it usually signals the next difficulty in raids coming. So I know we just got an update here to difficulty 3, but as we have seen with the past Doom raids and incursions, it usually goes up to, I believe, difficulty 5 or 6. So there's definitely an opportunity for that here. And is there going to be potentially even a new kind of raid coming to the game? That's also something that we need to watch out for. But yeah, all really neat key highlights. This is telling of what's coming, or maybe this team can even have some value in the new Siege battle world that's coming too. So I'm sure they're planning all this behind the scenes. Let's see how that's going to take us though. But I do love the fact that many of these characters and teams do have a Spider-Verse synergy. So they're going to be able to provide value even outside of Spider Society characters, which is nice to see. Obviously creating more of that theory crafting nature, especially when you think about how Spider-Gwen is part of Web Warriors and Noir is part of Tangle Web. I do like how they're mixing and mingling that combination in the future there for potential theory crafting. So guys, now I do want to show you this meaningful stats information that I've populated, because it is absolutely bonkers. I am just taking a look at right now Spider-Gwen and as well as Noir, and It's insane, guys. Like if we've taken a look at what the averages are for the invaders, as well as the meta teams that we have right now, which are in this case is Pegasus for the tech section, the Extreme X-Men for the mutant section, and then finally the Hive Mind team for bio. And both Spider-Gwen and Noir are S tier stats across the board. We're talking about HP, damage, armor, and speed, and mind you, a big boost of it does come from raids, so we are able to compare this team right now, especially these two characters, to the rest of the other teams that right now are in raid, so that way it is going to be apples to apples. But where this team does shine is that they're just well-rounded right now, especially Spider-Gwen, Noir. They having this high of rankings across the board with that kind of a speed, they're going to be absolutely must build right now. And the good news is that we can start building them up already, even before the 3 additional characters are getting added into the game. And as you can see from the stats, right, it's no surprise that we are failing so terribly in skill. Just look at the invaders, you know, B+ in HP, B in damage, armor's, you know, atrocious, as well as that speed. They just were not built for incursion raids, and raids in general. Their infusion was really just to help us push beyond what we could, but they have never ever been a good skill team, and I'm so happy that this is gonna get replaced. But I wanted to take that further and beyond, though. I wanted to take a look at how does this new team, or at least these 2 characters, stack up against some of the better raid teams that we have right now. So Pegasus, Extreme, and Hive Mind. As you can see, right, if you take a look at Pegasus, they're way better than Pegasus in HP and damage, and I love Pegasus synergy, right? So hopefully they're gonna have something of a Darkhawk on this team, so that way they're generating energy as well, but even higher speed than this, but similar armor level, which is nice to see, which you know, is mindful of the fact that this team is going to be tanky as well as strong, and obviously be able to soak up damage. Extreme X-Men shines in HP and decent in damage and armor, so they're well rounded as well, very similar, but Extreme shines with the charges mechanic, as well as the synergy of how they can flip everything. So I'm hoping that's going to be the case here for this new skill team as well. And then finally, Hive Mind does shine on the synergy of the speed and turn meter, as well as the debuffs placed upon the enemies, and continual support, especially given there's an inherent revive. So it's going to be interesting to see if this team has any of those mechanics, because you can see right now, especially just Spider-Gwen and Noir, they completely blow each and every one of these characters and teams out of the water here. So super exciting, guys. I'm a big stats guy, because this is really what drove me not to build the invaders, right? When I saw this in my initial analysis, it was a huge red flag. But my goodness, when you take a look at how Spider-Gwen is and Noir with the raid buffs, they're going to be staying put for a while, guys. We're talking about 6 months to a year plus easily, unless there's a new kind of raid coming where bio is going to get replaced. But the good news is with these, sorry, not bio, the skill section, but the good news is typically a new raid team meta that gets added typically has one of the longest durations of life, because it needs to still go through the other sections, such as Mystic, Tech, and Mutants, and I do foresee Mystic being the next one, so something to be mindful of there, guys. But yeah, hopefully this helps you guys in your analysis. Do not skip this team. This is so worth building, and this you know, statistical review just further cements that analysis, and I cannot wait to see what this team is going to be like. Let me know anything in the comments below, guys. Hopefully this helps you kind of further cement what you're going to be looking forward to. I will keep you guys up to date as always. Thank you for your time, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.